Hi, do you like the design of this Marvel t-shirt? Me too. I am Rat and today I will discuss about science and art of book cover design.
After watching this video, you will be able to tell me which one of these book cover is good, which one is better and which one stands out as the best. So stay with me till the end of this video. The world is full of beautiful books and more beautiful book covers. But George Eliot said, "Don't judge a book by its cover." Well, I don't agree. A book cover is the first thing you notice in a book, and good ones stick inside your head longer than you might think. They tell you the story of a book in a fraction of a second. But what makes a book cover stand out? Is it the color, the font, the graphics, or the combination of all three? Before delving deep into the topic, let me tell you a mind-blowing fact. Have you seen or heard about this book? What every man thinks about apart from sex? This is a 200-page book and every page is totally blank. The front and the back cover are realistic representation of a self-help pseudo-psychology book. Therefore, disapproving the age-old saying that the book is more often than not judged by its cover. But don't expect that I will discuss all the crappy book covers here that use nothing but stock photos. They have recently become trendy as they don't require any knowledge of design. In this video rather, expect to go deep into the art and science of great book covers. To understand the psychology behind a good book cover, let me first tell you about two very basic rules of photography: the rule of thirds and golden ratio. What is the rule of thirds? In photography, the rule of third is a type of composition in which an image is divided evenly into thirds, both horizontally and vertically, and the subject of the image is placed at the intersection of those dividing lines or along with one of the lines itself. Throughout history, the ratio of length to width of rectangle of 1.61803 has been considered the most pleasing to the eye. More about this in the next part of the video. What is golden ratio? To quote Da Vinci Code chapter number 20,
"Your grandfather," Landon said, hurrying behind her. "When he told you about the pentacle, did he mention goddess worship or any resentment of the Catholic Church?" Sophie shook her head. "I was more interested in the mathematics of it, the divine proportion, phi, Fibonacci series, that sort of thing." Landon was surprised. "Your grandfather taught you about the number phi?" "Of course, the divine proportion." Her expression turned sheepish. "In fact, he used to joke that I was half divine. You know, because of the letter in my name." Langdon considered it at a moment and then ground. Sophie, Sophie. Still descending, Langdon refocused on phi. He was starting to realize that Sonia's clues were even more consistent than he had first imagined. Da Vinci, Fibonacci series, the pentacle. Incredibly, all these things were connected by a single concept so fundamental to art history that Langdon often spent several class periods on this topic. Phi. He felt himself suddenly reeling back to Howard, standing in front of his symbolism in art class, writing his favorite number on the chalkboard, 1.618.
But how does this relate to design? You can find the golden ratio when you divide a line into two parts, and the longer part A divided by the smaller part B is equal to the sum of A plus B divided by A, which equals 1.618. This formula can help in creating shapes, logos, layouts, and many more things. Here are some ways to use the golden ratio in design. Number 1. Typography and defining hierarchy. Consider this piece of information which has font size of 20 points. Now, if you give the heading a font size of 32 points, then it follows the golden ratio because 32 divided by 20 equal to 1.6. This ratio should be maintained between the title and the author's name. Number 2. Cropping and resizing. When cropping images, it's easy to identify white space to cut out. But how do you make sure the image is still balanced after you resize it? You can use the golden spiral as a guide for the image's composition. For example, if you overlay the golden spiral on an image, you can make sure that the focal point is in the middle of the spiral. Number 3. Logo design. If you are designing a logo and feeling stuck, turn to golden ratio to help you sketch out the proportion and shapes. Many famous logos have been developed using the golden ratio. For example, the logo of Google or that of Apple. Well, in that case, this is not a very good logo, right? But how do designers design book cover using golden ratio? A book cover comes to life after collaborating closely with the author, finding a way to capture the essence of the book in one beautiful image. Only after reading it and pondering its theme, symbols, and character deeply on their own. Font type and size. A good book cover is also harmonious marriage of art and type. They must fully complement each other and form strong cohesion. But how to achieve this? Make your title prominent. Choose fonts and color to make reading easier, intriguing and/or clear focal point. Every composition, every piece of deliberately designed visual communication needs a focal point. The easiest way to find your focal point is to ask yourself where your eye is going. Whether it's the title, the author byline, or the figure in the artwork. Some specific abstract shape, your focal point is what grabs your attention and catches your eye in the first place. And it's not an accident. Don't overcrowd the cover design. These are the elements of a good book cover. Also, Gestalt Theory tells us that the human brain will attempt to simplify and organize complex images or design that consist of many elements by subconsciously arranging the parts into an organized system that creates a whole rather than just a series of disparate elements. If you are interested in knowing more about this theory or the principles of design in detail, you can watch some of the great videos. I will link the videos in the description section. Now, let us discuss some book cover and see how they stand on the various elements discussed in the video. But first, I would love if you give a thumbs up to the video and promise me you will share it among your friends. Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. The first edition of book cover of Jurassic Park is so simple, yet it is one of the most beautiful and famous book covers out there. It became the symbol and logo of the whole Jurassic Park universe, including the movies. So, what is the story behind the book cover? Chip Kid was given the assignment of designing one of the most iconic book covers. Kid went to the Museum of Natural History and bought a book on dinosaurs. He opened the book and sat to design the cover and was taken with this page. He took this diagram and put it in a Xerox machine to take a photostat of the diagram, and then out of the Xerox copy he started reconstituting the dinosaur using a rapidograph pen. He ended with a graphic representation of a dinosaur, something like this, and then he used some of the fonts to make the final cover look like this. So, is it a good design? Yes. Does it follow the genre? Yes. Does it follow the rule of thirds? Yes. Does it follow the golden ratio? Yes. Does it follow font and size rule? Yes. Does it have a intriguing and/or a clear focal point? Yes. And does it have something which is not seen before? Yes. Overall, the composition is great. Everything is Illuminated by Safran Foer. One of the most iconic book covers out there belongs to Safran Foer's Everything is Illuminated novel. With this cover, designer John Gray started the revival of hand lettering and book cover typography and set up a new book cover designing trend. Published in 2002, the cover is in contrast with the clean graphic that were fashionable at that time. So what is the plot of this book? This is the story of Jonathan who sets out to meet a woman accompanied by Alex, a young Ukrainian translator who speaks in sublimely butchered English. That's why we see unclean typography used in this book. Is it relevant to the genre? Yes. Does it follow rule of third? Yes. Does it follow golden ratio? No. Does it have a good font type and size? Yes. Does it have a intriguing and a clear focal point? Yes. Does it have something which is not shown before? Yes. Overall, the composition is good. The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. Although written back in 1985, it is more relevant than ever. There were many book cover designs over the years, but the most recent cover design by Noma Bar was one of the best, at least in my opinion. It was released in 2017 to match the launch of the TV series based on the novel. The red silhouette with a white touch against the black background offers a powerful contrast that immediately catches your attention and perfectly illustrates the dominant theme in the book. So, does it follow all the criteria for a good design? I think yes. Is it relevant to the genre? Yes. Does it follow rule of thirds? Yes. Does it follow golden ratio? Yes. Does it have a good font type and size? Yes. Is the book cover intriguing? Yes. Does it have something which you might not have seen before? Yes. Overall, the composition is good. Against Happiness by Eric G. Wilson. This is a brilliant piece of graphic design, with this minimal design inverting the traditional yellow acid smiley to create a gentle, melancholic frown using just the title, a simple but effective trick. Jennifer Caro is the designer of this book cover. So, does it follow all the criteria of the good design? I think yes. It is relevant to the plot, it follows rule of third, it follows the golden ratio, it has a good font type and size, it has a clear yet intriguing focal point and something which you might not have seen before. Overall, it is a great composition. Normal People by Sally Rooney. Hen Kim is one of my favorite contemporary artists and I just love Sally Rooney. I am also working on a video essay with the topic Love Letter to Sally Rooney. Hen Kim is an artist who captures the millennium sentiment very well. Her signature style reveals transparency to the thought behind the faces, giving the still images a chance to come to life. These are some of her art. You can follow her on Instagram. I will link the description below. And as this book is about millennial couples and rebound and part and then rebound again, sorry for the spoilers, this little piece of art in the middle depicts them quite well. So does it tick mark all the criteria of a good design? I think yes. This is true to the genre, but it doesn't follow rule of third or golden ratio. The font size and type is good. It is intriguing and something which you might not have seen before. Overall, it is a good composition. Apart from the book covers I have discussed, there are many covers that make you pick a book up. Here are some of them. You can buy them by clicking on the description below. Also, tell me in the comment your favorite book cover. I will definitely try to include them in the second part of the video. I hope after watching this video, the next time you look at a book cover, you see it with a completely different perspective.